Well, hello and welcome back. This is Anna Kitley from Bergeron. If you've not watched any of my Facebook Lives before, I run the UK's leading theta healing training organisation. Theta healing is an energy healing modality aimed at changing limiting beliefs into empowering ones. It works through a meditation process that allows you to connect to the divine creator of all that is, to be able to facilitate healings and transformations. So this Facebook Live is going to be interactive, so I ask that you participate. I've asked for any comments that you have in regards to this particular topic. This topic is a big bugbear with me. This is one of the most common blocks I experience within my classes with my students, the poor healer syndrome. Now, you may be, in the coaching industry, and it still applies anywhere that a person is an energy healer, a therapist, a counselor, a coach. They struggle with this poor healer syndrome. So what I plan to do this evening is to kind of debunk that myth of the poor healer syndrome, look at changing some of your belief systems that may not necessarily be supporting you in your business, and changing them into empowering ones where you can have a much better relationship with money, have a much better an understanding and mindset around your identity as the healer, the therapist, or the coach. So you're much more aligned with your purpose and feel much more authentic when you're asking for money for your services from clients. So welcome. So I see quite a lot of people have joined us already. So hello, welcome. Okay, all right. So now the poor healer syndrome. So essentially what this means is that you may be in that category of people that really struggle to charge money for healing. So just let me know if that is you. If you feel like you really struggle to charge money for healing, coaching, or some kind of therapy, perhaps you're charging very little, perhaps you're on donation, perhaps you are doing it as completely free for your family and friends, and maybe you're doing your 10th coaching session, healing session for free for your friends. So I'd love to hear where you're at in your business so I can support you. I'm going to tune into obviously the people on the Facebook Live this evening. Also, if you're listening to the replay, the work that we do together will also apply to you. So when you say yes to the energy downloads, the healing will be done for you, even though you watch the recording as well. So I feel like we're going to be here about 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Okay, that's the kind of the agenda for this evening. There's a lot for me to cover, and I want to be of as much service to you as possible. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so Sana's saying yes. Okay, so you fall in that category. Lee saying yes. Okay, you guys are on the right Facebook Live. Okay, so Oisami is saying ever since she up-leveled as an instructor, things did get rocky. Okay, yeah, we're going to have a look at some of that when you shift from practitioner into instructor and trainer, and what happens with your mindset. Yeah. Okay, Natalia's saying, I have problem charging friends. Okay, I'll answer that one straight up. You will never do a healing on an enemy. You will never do healing on an enemy. So if you can't charge your friends, who can you charge? If your friend happens to be a plumber and you have burst water in your home because it's winter, the frost has burst the pipes, and he's going to be there for 2 days trying to, fix the plumbing, do you expect him to do it for free? Okay. Now he may give you a small discount, but he certainly needs to get paid for his 2 days of work. Would that be fair? Yeah. So if you were doing healings for friends, what you can do is you can say, look, the first 30 minutes is a taster, okay? Because, you wanted to try this out. And if you enjoy it, then I can ask for a donation, or this is my rate. This is my rate for friends. And it needs to feel a rate that is, that feels, so that you don't become resentful. Yeah. So for example, if your rate is say $100 or £100, and you give your friend the healing for say 10 or 15 pounds, you're more than likely going to feel resentful because you're way undercharging. So you need to decide what kind of rate you're going to offer your friends that perhaps is, a discounted rate, okay, but still feels as though you are feeling valued and that you can be able to fund the day-to-day running of your business. So there's a way that you can do that, and it's called muscle testing. So if you've not done theta healing, I'm going to quickly explain muscle testing. I'm going to show you the finger method first. There's also a standing method. Those are both great methods. So muscle testing is a form of applied kinesiology where you can check the beliefs you hold in your subconscious mind. Okay, not conscious, subconscious. And if you've ever seen like the picture of the iceberg, the bit of the ice that's kind of on top of the water versus the whole amount of ice that's under, that's a really good metaphor for the conscious and subconscious mind. So conscious mind is what's on the surface of the water. A whole bunch of other stuff is under the water, which is your subconscious mind. And really your subconscious mind is running the show. Okay, that's the problem. And many of the beliefs that are in your subconscious mind, you're not even aware of. Okay, so we're going to be testing some of those beliefs this evening. Okay, so I'm going to show you the finger method first so you can start checking for your beliefs. So the way you do it is your fingers together, holding firm. Not until you're straining, but nice and firm. Okay, and with the other finger, you're going to put it through. Okay, so you're right at the bottom. And you make the statement, yes, yes, yes. And you try and pull it through, and it should stay in. Then back down again, you'll make the statement, no, 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 and there'll be like a pop, okay? So there'll be like a pop, that's what will happen. Your job is to hold firm no matter what, okay? Don't make a judgment what you're saying. So for example, I'll make this statement, I'm a woman, okay? That's staying closed, which means that's a yes. Okay, I'm a man, okay? It's coming through, that means it's a no, okay? Then I can start checking for beliefs like, I love myself, okay, yes, because I've done a lot of work on self-love. Okay, I'm worthy of success. Okay, that's a yes for me. Okay, so now I want you guys to check that one out. So put your fingers together. Begin with the yeses and nos first, finger facing down. Yeah. So that's what's going to happen, yeah? Okay, you ready? Okay, so saying yes, yes, yes. Okay, no, no, no. Okay, now if it's not working for you, you may be dehydrated, so get a glass of water to stay hydrated because that will weaken your energy field. So muscle testing connects to your muscles, connecting to your nervous system, and connects to your subconscious mind. This is why this is a useful diagnostic tool to check what belief systems or programs you're running in the subconscious mind. Okay, so let me know how you're getting on with the muscle testing. Is it working for you? Okay, I'm just reading through all your comments, guys, so I can help you with all your questions. Okay, so Elena's saying, I don't feel that I'm struggling, but clients do come asking for discounts and not come anyway. Okay. Right, so they ask for discounts, then don't come. Yes, so never haggle on price, guys. Never haggle on price. That is your rate. Your rate is your rate. Never apologize for your rate. If you're asking for a price, and when you ask for that price saying, oh, my rate is 100 or 200 or 300, when you get to a certain figure, you'll get to start to feel uncomfortable, you'll feel triggered. So you're asking for this price, you're like, oh, $100? Yeah, and it's almost like you're apologizing. And so obviously I exaggerated that, but just so you could feel the energy of where you're kind of apologizing for your rate. So you would very blankly and very clearly say, yeah, my rate is £100 or $200 or $300 or £300, whatever your rate is, or, you know, a package of 5 sessions is, you know, £2,000. You need to feel comfortable in saying that, and that it feels authentic. And it comes from a place where you believe that you can help someone and the value for what they're getting. So when you do a healing or a coaching or a therapy session for someone, you may be charging them by the hour, or you may be charging like a package rate, right? So if you're, say, for example, let's take the example of charging per hour. You know, you sit with them for, say, you know, half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, 90 minutes doing a treatment. That could be a hands-on Reiki healing, could be like access consciousness, it could be pranic healing, it could be, you know, a theta healing session, a coaching session, okay? What they're actually paying for, they're not actually paying for your time. What they're paying for is the results, okay? So let me get this really, really clear, and I want you to write this down somewhere so that you remember this lesson, okay? They're not paying you for your time. Okay, they don't care whether it takes 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 2 sessions, they don't care. Obviously, they want it faster, the better, right? But they don't care how long it takes, right? What they're interested in, what they're paying you for is the results, okay? So in my practice, I've helped couples fall pregnant. They were going through IVF, they ran out of money, okay? They're up to like, I think like 62,000 pounds worth of IVF treatments. I don't know how many rounds that is, but IVF's pretty expensive, and they basically ran out of money, and they came to me, and I worked on the wife and the husband, and I tuned in, I see what the underlying issue was, and I saw that there was a fear of being parents. They were scared because they had their own mummy and daddy issues, because whatever her mother did to her, she was afraid that she was going to be a bad mother and abuse her child. So she was wanting a baby but sabotaging it because she was scared that she would be dumping her crap that her mother gave her onto the child. And the husband was also quite not ready to be a father. He was feeling very pressured by the wife to have the baby, so spending a lot of money on IVF. So he felt very pressured by the amount of money that was being spent, and he was worried then how much money the child was going to cost with education, university fees. He thought the child was going to be like a burden or a trap. So I worked on both of them, and then they were able to fall pregnant. Okay, so how much is a baby worth? Okay, how much is a baby worth? Well, the answer is it's priceless. It's priceless. You can't charge a fee. You can't be 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. You can't put a fee on that. Okay, so when people come to you for a session, an appointment, they're not really paying you for the hour. They're paying you for the result that you're going to give them. So if a client comes to you and they've been suffering from anxiety for, say, the last 10, 15, 20 years. So I had a client literally just last night. She had anxiety. She's had it since she was a child. And she was on a medication to try and obviously calm her down, because anxiety led to depression as well. The two kind of were linked. And so we did a healing. Within 38 minutes, we resolved the issue. Within 38 minutes. Now, obviously, I charge my hourly rate. I also have a package option. But it doesn't equate to the 20 years of suffering she's been through with suffering from anxiety and panic attacks. Do you understand? So when you are saying your price, don't think, oh, how much is my hour worth? Okay, because your time actually is priceless. You get X amount of years in your life. There was a really, I went to a training in the US, and there was this really profound speaker. Her name was Claudia Chang. I've actually got her book. She was absolutely phenomenal. And she had this really, she was speaking, she was so prophetic in her messages. And one of the things she said was that she's 42 years old now, which is how old I am. And she said, she's got 2 kids. And what she's talking about is basically her I guess her purpose that she created was the She Summit. The She Summit is like a movement that's designed to bring diversity and equality into the workplace, and it's going viral, it's going global. Okay, so she's the kind of the founder and creator of that. She's getting a lot of well-known public figures on board and part of this movement to bring awareness to this around the world, which is absolutely inspirational. But what really touched me about what she said was that she's 42 years old, and if she lives to maybe 70 or 80 years, she's got approximately 37 years left of life left. So if you knew you had, 30, 40 years of life left in you, how would you spend your time? What would you be doing? Would you be scrolling through Facebook and Instagram? Okay, would you be doing that? Okay, would you be killing time watching TV? Yeah. How are you going to spend those years of your life? They are precious. And so you can't really put a price on every hour of your life, because it is priceless. Okay? So one of the first beliefs I want to clear for you guys is, can I free you from exchanging your time for money? Is that okay? Okay, and if you say yes, I'm going to ask the Creator, the Divine Energy, to make this change on every level of your being. And can I free you from measuring your worth through money? Okay, this is what we do in Western society, that if someone is earning more than another person, they're made to feel superior, and the person earning less is made to feel inferior. This is the reality of the Western world. But every person is equal. Every person is equal. So can I free you from measuring yourself through the amount of income that you earn? Yeah, because what that actually will do when we free you from this belief, when you no longer measure yourself by income, you're actually free to make as much as you want because you're no longer using it as a measure of your worth. Okay, so can I make this change for you? Is that okay? You just say yes out loud. Obviously, I won't hear you. The universe, the creator will. Okay, it's basically the way this works is on free agency, free will. So if you say yes, this healing will be done for you. Thank you. Okay, that's good. For most of you, that kind of went in. Some of you are like still holding on to where your ego is trying to attach itself to material things as a way to feel more worthy. It's like, I'll be more worthy when I have, the expensive phone or the expensive watch. It's like you're attached to stuff as part of your identity. Okay, so if you can almost imagine like you have various facets of your identity. It's made up of all the things in your life. For example, some of the facets I have is me as a wife, me as a mother, me as a businesswoman. But what sometimes people will do, they'll use, say, a soulmate as like a trophy, which is attached to a facet like, well, I have the gorgeous, sexy husband who has abs, and that's my trophy, and that's part of who I am, and that increases my self-worth. So that how that can work as a facet. Or I have the expensive, Mercedes Benz, or the mansion Beverly Hills, and that's a facet of who I am. Those are external things. So recently when I was in LA, Malibu had basically wildfires, and a lot of millionaires and billionaires had their houses destroyed. So some of these people are not only going to be rebuilding their homes, but they're going to be rebuilding the facets of who they think they are, because they no longer have this external stuff that defines them. Hopefully that makes sense, yeah? So can we free you from defining yourself and your identity through external stuff, external material things? Is that okay? Doesn't mean you can't attract it, have it, enjoy it. I'm not saying don't enjoy the nice things. I'm just saying that these do not have to label you, identify you, nor should the lack of this material stuff also determine your self-worth as well. So, if you're driving a beat up, broken down car, it doesn't mean you're less worthy, okay? So let's just free you from your attachment to your identity, which relates to things outside of yourself, the material things, so that you know who you are with or without these things in your life. Thank you. Okay, good. You guys are doing well. We're accepting the downloads. Cool. Good, you're ready. You're ready. I'm going nice and easy, okay, on you at the moment. I'm going to start to hit heavy in a moment. Okay, so where was I? So I've lost my train of thought. Yes, money beliefs. Yeah. Okay, so coming back to charging money. So yeah, releasing your attachment that you are charging an hourly rate for an hour of your time, because it's about the service that you offer. Okay, it's the service that you offer. So if you think about your clients and the kind of results you've been having, and maybe you haven't got paid clients, but you've been doing, free healings for your friends. Think about some of the results you've been getting for your friends, and thinking about the value they've been getting and how much that actually is worth. Then you'll recognize that actually you should potentially be increasing your rate. Now, I've made this mistake, which is why I'm telling you not to do that. So I've done free healings. Back in the days, I was doing free healings, and including, friends and family. And here's what I found, that when I was doing free or discounted healings, my family and these friends did not value what they were getting because they weren't paying for it. So there was no attachment to the outcome. They didn't take responsibility because they hadn't paid for it. Okay, so the healing didn't work, or the healing was very difficult, or they basically fought me on the issue. So basically what they told me was that they're not ready to heal. They were constantly, they had constant objections. Now, I don't know if you've ever had clients like that before. It's very frustrating when a client has constant objections. What that tells me is the client is not ready. They're saying that they're ready, but they're not willing to let go of their stuff. And what's worse, if they're not paying you, it becomes even more painful for you because you are not using your time to the best capacity possible. Okay, all right, so let's have a look at your comments. So yeah, no discounts, guys, no discounts. I do occasionally do free healings for somebody. For example, if they've got cancer, and they're terminal. Generally, this is what happens. They're like, and they go to energy healers as their last hope, last resort. After they've tried everything else and nothing else has worked, then I'll go to the hospital. I'll do the healing. I'll travel. I'll stay there for an hour or two. I'll do the healing, and I won't charge. This is a case by case basis. I don't do this for everybody. I'm guided by the creator for who I do this for. Okay, so on certain occasions I will do a pro bono healing. Okay, so there are exceptions, but generally I don't do discounts. I don't do concessions. Like, this is the rate and this is the rate. Then when you're respecting your time and respecting ultimately the service that you offer as a healer or a coach, then you'll attract clients who also respect and honor you as a coach. So people will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. Let me repeat that. People will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. Okay, so if they get into haggling, you can just say, my rate is non-negotiable. This is my rate. Okay. Now, if they say, yep, that's fine, okay, no worries, and they leave, to be honest with you, they would have not been a good client to begin with. If they're trying to haggle with you on rate, they're not going to be the best coaching client, the best healing client, because they've got a kind of a scarcity mindset, and also they're not really valuing, or they don't have the faith in what you do. So if you have complete faith and trust that you can actually help and serve a person, then when you send the energy out to somebody, when you're speaking to somebody, when you're engaging them in a conversation, doing your elevator pitch, then you won't be attracting people who want to haggle, because you'll have such faith and conviction in your words, in the service that you offer. It'll be unwavering faith that only clients who will be attracted to you, your energy, and your rate will be attracted. All the discounted, bargain-based deal clients, they won't be part of your business. They won't be part of your experience, because you value yourself and your services. Yeah. Okay. So Kavila is saying, struggle charging money and visibility. We're definitely going to be doing some energy clearing on visibility. That was a big theme that came up in last night's Facebook Live. I'm getting all my hearts. I'm getting distracted. Thank you for my hearts. I'm getting so many. Thank you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so you're resonating. I'm really glad. I'm so passionate about this work. And to be honest with you, if you've ever been into A&E, accident emergency in the hospital, you will know there is not a shortage of clients. In England, you have to make an appointment to see a doctor, and sometimes you can't see a doctor on the same day. It's usually 2 or 3 days. In 2 or 3 days, you could be dead, for God's sake, right? So there is not a shortage of clients. Clients are everywhere, literally everywhere. It's about learning how to practice your elevator pitch. I do have a YouTube video on this, on an elevator pitch. So if you are on my email newsletter list, then I'll send that out in the next email newsletter list, so you guys can see what that actually looks like to do an elevator pitch, which is essentially like 2 or 3 minutes of you explaining what it is that you do. Okay, so I'll give you an example. So I'm a theta healing practitioner and instructor. Okay, that's kind of like the job title, but most people don't know what that is. Okay, that is like what we call internal lingo. And so sometimes you'll have friends that will tell you their job title, and you're like, what the hell is that? Right? Well, this is what people are thinking if you tell them, I'm a theta healing instructor, practitioner, and trainer, right? So the first thing I like to do is I like to find out more about about the potential prospect, the potential client. I need to find out more about them to know where they're at, so then I can position my language. So I see many healers make this mistake. They either get really excited and they say, oh, I'm a psychic and I can release wayward spirits, which are like dead people that sit on your aura, and I can align your chakras, and I can talk to the dead, which are your ancestors. I can see a dear old grandma over there, and your uncle wants to speak to you, and your aura's glowing blue and green, and that means this and that means this. They're all excited because they've just done the course, and the person's like, okay, bye. Right? They're like thinking you are a freak, right? So they're thinking witchcraft, they're thinking voodoo, hoodoo, right? Okay, so that's kind of a common mistake. The other thing is like the unsure. Like I do this kind of energy healing thing where I can change limiting beliefs into empowering ones in the subconscious mind, and it's like a meditation process. So you see, I was exaggerating, but like my body language is I'm not sure of myself. Yes, so you're looking at the body language you're doing in front of a person, and I might have been using some big words like subconscious mind, channeling, transmutation. Okay, so avoiding using like what we call internal lingo. But really, what the lesson in that particular exercise is that when you're pitching yourself, you need to be sure in what you're saying and be very clear in that communication. So watching your body language, okay? So this is something we do in our practice group. So our feeling students, we have a monthly practice group. So once you've trained with us, we don't leave you, okay? We support you through your journey. And so one of the practice groups, I had all my students practice their elevator pitch, and I had them go up to different people and practice what they do over and over and over again, because you'll never do this. So this is something I encourage you to do is maybe this evening is get in front of the mirror, write down like a couple of different elevator pitches, a couple of different versions, and really state in front of the mirror, or even record yourself with your, with your iPhone, just record yourself and say your pitch, and then watch the recording. See what you're doing with like your mouth or your tongue. Are you kind of playing with your hair as you're talking? Are you doing a twitchy thing, right? So all these things get exaggerated when we get a bit nervous, okay? Our little idiosyncrasies. So you want to kind of weed those out until literally your elevator pitch rolls off the tongue till you feel professional, you feel authentic, and it feels like your words, okay? Don't use my words, use your words, okay? Because if you try and use my words, it won't sound like you. You'll end up trying to sound like me, and that won't work. So if you don't use a particular word in your vocabulary, don't copy somebody else. Find your own words, your own language, your own tone. So if you are naturally bubbly and excitable, that's absolutely fine, yeah? But choose your words carefully so that you don't freak out your potential client or prospect, yeah? Okay, so yeah, you can check out my elevator pitch for more information on that. Okay, so Carol likes, oh, I like that. Good, I'm glad. Okay. Okay, so Martina's saying, please help creating inner space to help more clients. Now, does that mean like you're really like busy with your life and don't have time to create clients? I'm not sure what that means. So just clarify for me, Martina. So Lydia's saying, where is the line between your work and the responsibility of the client's result? Okay, I did mention about this topic yesterday, Lydia, so you can watch on yesterday's Facebook Live about not being responsible for your client's results. So we create a space for a client to heal. We have our tools, okay, and that means practicing your tools on a regular basis, and that's what we call mastery. It doesn't happen in a weekend workshop, okay, so you need to make sure that you're practicing your craft regularly. So, if you're a coach, you want to be obviously doing, coaching swaps for continual development, or have a coach yourself, and practicing your craft as well as having clients, so you're continuing to grow and develop. But so if you have faith and trust in your technique, okay, and your client is willing, then the transformation will occur, okay. But if your client is constantly creating objections, then they're not ready, and you're not responsible for that. So in the past, I've had clients like last night, this client, literally, that was the fastest healing ever. She booked an hour session. We resolved her anxiety within 38 minutes, and I went, okay, what else do you want to work on? And she was like shocked, like, I didn't think it'd be that quick, right? So I said, do you want to work on soulmates? Do you want to do a future reading? Do you want to help with your business? And she's like, oh, can you do a future reading on soulmates? So we did some work around soulmates, right? But she was willing and able and really ready to heal. She was fed up with her anxiety, ready to let go. We went really deep on where it was coming from. Okay, and it stemmed from her being a baby and her mother holding her while her parents were constantly fighting, and this happened repeatedly. And so as a small baby, getting constantly frightened by shouting and yelling, and also because she's so empathic, she was absorbing her mother's energy as well. So not only did she have her own trauma, she had her mother's trauma of her mother getting anxious, going, safe, I need to protect the baby. And this happened over and over again, so that it got embedded in her nervous system of I'm not safe. So anytime anybody raised their voice, it would trigger her into this kind of panic attack. So we worked on clearing that trauma. Plus there was some genetic stuff, because on her father's line there was war as well, so we needed to clear some trauma of war down the ancestral line. But yeah, she was ready. We sorted it out. Now sometimes I've had clients and I'm on the 4th healing, 5th healing, 6th healing. I'm thinking I need to fire this client. I'm sorry if that was you. But yeah, you're just not ready. If you're not ready, you're not ready. And I don't want to waste my time and your money, right? So sometimes clients are not willing. They say they want to heal, but they're not willing to let it go. So a good indication that the client's not willing is constant objections, or they'll sabotage the muscle testing, or they'll change the subject, or they'll keep going to a different story and not stay on track. They'll give you kind of coded answers, so they're not being really clear in their communication. Yeah, it's these clients you need to fire. You need to fire. Your clients need you more than you need them. They need you more than you need them. And when they are ready, they'll come back, okay? So I would say, I'll be honest, I don't feel that you're ready. This is what's going on for you. This is what I'm seeing, and you're not ready. So years ago, I had a client. This was, gosh, yeah, 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, quite a while ago. I had a lady with chronic fatigue. Chronic fatigue, otherwise known as ME, or me disease. Their favorite subject is talking about themselves. They love talking about themselves and all their issues. Okay, I've had quite a few clients with chronic fatigue, and this particular lady, she was coming to me for sessions. Obviously, with chronic fatigue, they're exhausted, so she was literally staggering into my therapy space when I had a therapy room back then. And we did about 4 or 5 healings, and in the end I said, like, what are you afraid is going to happen if you heal? What's going to happen when you let go of this disease or condition? And basically she got to the point where she said, you know what, like, I don't think this is working for me. I can't afford these sessions anymore. I'm thinking I'm going to call it a day. So here's what happened. She was in her mid-30s. So when she was a child, her parents migrated from England to Malta. So she had an accent and got bullied. Then her parents felt they didn't feel accepted in Malta. So they left Malta and went back to England. Then she had a Maltese accent, and then she got obviously bullied again. Never really felt like she fitted in, and never really recovered. And nobody ever asked her, do you want to move? Do you want to change schools? And she had a hard time making new friends. And that really, and the energy of chronic fatigue is basically, I'm not allowed to defend myself. And so therefore I'm weak and I'm not safe. So what they'll do is they'll go into this kind of freeze energy. I'll make myself weak and small to avoid being attacked. Okay, so that's how it serves somebody with chronic fatigue to be weak. I'll make myself weak and small. You'll feel sorry for me, and you'll leave me alone. Yeah. So this can be a difficult program to budge, because you want them to be in their power. You want them to be full of energy. Okay, but it serves them to be weak. Okay, and plus other bonuses, like people get to take care of them. They get benefits from the government. Okay, and most of them are afraid to come off the benefits, because at the moment, I know in the UK, if you recover, they stop your benefits right away. And then if you recover and you haven't had a job, you've got no transition to actually get yourself into a job and employment. So you've got this gap of however long of no money. So most of them are terrified to make that leap of, okay, let me get healed, and then trust that I'm going to have a job and go back into the workplace, because some of these people with ME have had it for a long, long time. Yeah. So with this particular client, she wasn't ready, and I had to let her go. Well, actually, she let herself go because she just wasn't ready to heal. It served her not to heal from chronic fatigue, because her parents had built a home for her at the back of their house, like a little annex. They paid for electricity, they paid for the groceries. She'd never had a boyfriend, never had a husband, no children. She was essentially a child in a 35-year-old body and terrified of growing up. She wasn't willing to let that go. Now, what will happen later in her life is that when she gets to 40, 50, maybe 60, when her parents pass away, there'll be nobody there to take care of her, and she'll be faced with the same issue later in life, but then it may be too late. It may be too late for her. Yeah. So this is the reality, that sometimes people are not ready. And so this is one of the difficult things that I've had to learn as a healer, is to basically let my clients go. Because if I try and force a healing on someone, I feel like they're fighting me back. I feel frustrated. I doubt my ability as a healer. I lose faith in my ability. They get resentful. They get angry. I feel guilty because I've charged them money. They're not getting better. Blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. So the most loving thing is to let them go. Let them go, because if your gift is to be a healer, therapist, or coach, you should be using your energy to help those who are ready to heal and ready to be served. Okay, so can the creator of all that is teach you and show you that you are ready to serve your promised people. Okay, all those that can afford to pay, who will pay, who will value this work, appreciate this work, and who will understand this work. Is that okay? Again, if you say yes out loud, this will be given to you on all levels. Even if you're listening to the replay, this will still work. There's some kind of blessing or download that sits above the quantum field, above the planet. And so it's like a prayer. And so when anyone says yes, it's instantly brought into every level of your being, giving you Creator's highest truth. Can we show that you can have plenty of clients without going into overwhelm? That it's safe for you to have plenty of clients and still have time for your family and friends? Okay, so the next fear of having too many clients is fear of overwhelm. Yeah, so often a practitioner or a therapist or a coach will sabotage even getting their first client because they're afraid they get too busy, they're going to get into overwhelm, and they're not going to be able to say no or turn people away. So the teacher of theta healing, the founder of the modality, Vina Steibel, who's based in the US in Montana, she was born an intuitive and a psychic from a very young age, and she had to learn to hone her skills. And when she started to develop theta healing, and she was having spontaneous remissions. Okay, legally we can't say instant healings. She has spontaneous remissions with some of her clients. So the clients were wanting to basically, you know, she had such a demand of clients. She had a year-long wait list. A year-long wait list. So imagine how that would feel to have a wait list of a year-long, clients booked in. And she was doing 30-minute sessions back to back, 8 hours a day, like just crazy, just crazy. She tells the story that she had to work so hard because her daughters were having babies, and in hospital you have to pay to give birth. It's quite expensive to give birth in hospitals. So she was trying to raise money to kind of pay for the hospital bills in the US. She was working long hours, and there was this one day where the client didn't show up, and she followed up with a client, and the client had died. The client had died. They were waiting on this wait list for a year, and they had died. Now imagine how that would have felt for Vina. At that moment, she decided that she was going to start teaching others to do what she had done, that she couldn't possibly see everybody who was sick in her city, let alone her state or her country. That's when she decided to teach teachers. And so I'm one of her many students that she's taught, and I've gone on to teach thousands of other students around the world to become practitioners as well. So I can leverage my time by teaching you so that you can go teach, you can go and heal other people. This is the power of being able to be a student and a teacher, to be able to expand this work for so many people, because there is not a shortage of clients. Yeah. So you need to be ready to accept all your promised people without going into overwhelm. So here's what I do in my practice. Ready? I refer. Ta-da! I refer. If I get too busy because I've got my kids are sick at school, or there's unplanned emergency, or I'm teaching classes and I don't have time to see people, I refer. Okay, so I have other practitioners on my team that you can book sessions with, and if they get too busy, then I have thousands of students I can send you to, okay, that I can recommend. You tell me your issue, I can tell you the perfect practitioner you can go to, okay, internationally, yeah. So I've got great practitioners for cancer, diabetes, money issues. I've got the perfect people for you guys, yeah, if I get too busy, right? So this is what will happen. So when you get really busy, you can refer. Okay, so this is where you start to connect with your fellow students who've trained with you in your modality, people that you know, trust, and like, and who you know that are good, that you know who you're good. I just don't send it to anybody that I know they are good. Okay, because if I refer and they have a bad experience, that reflects badly on me. So I want to make sure they send them to someone good. Okay, so that's problem solved. Okay, if you get too busy, refer. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so let's try that again. So can the creator of all those teach you and show that you're ready for your promised people? Thank you. Ah, that's better. Let it in. Nice deep breath. Good. And can the credit teacher ensure that your clients can find you? Okay, right. So now we come to being visible. Okay, so back in this, I think it was the 1300s or 1600s, I can't remember. But the period of the burning of the witches lasted 350 years. There was around 8 million people killed during that time. 8 million. Now, records back then weren't necessarily written. They were a bit sketchy. So this is an approximation. It may be less, it may be more. I suspect it was more. And it wasn't just women, it was men as well. And it kind of began with the Catholic religion trying to spread its message around the world, particularly with the Spanish Inquisition, that wanted to impose their religious beliefs on other religions. So things like the worship of Father, Son, Mother Earth, pagan rituals, worship of the moon, any sort of ceremony was all of a sudden deemed witchcraft. So a lot of the old ways, old traditions were then being seen as witchcraft. If a woman lived beyond 40, okay, which was considered old back in those days, she must be using magic to stay alive longer, right? If a person had any birthmark above their neck, any like on their neck, I've got one on my chin, yeah. If a person, particularly a woman, had a birthmark anywhere above their neck, they were called a witch, and they were beheaded, burned to the stake, tortured. I mean, just horrific things. I'm not going to go into the drama and story of what was done to people during that time. Suffice it to say, it was horrendous. It was horrendous. Now, whether you believe in past lives or not, it's actually irrelevant, because it's sitting in the collective consciousness of humanity. This energy of this witchcraft and the burning of the witches sits in the collective consciousness of humanity. So, I mean, what do you think, like, Halloween's about? Yeah, people walking around, as witches, right? So this whole concept that anyone who's doing energy work, if someone's using natural medicine, using herbs to treat or heal a disease, may be called a witch. If you're using some sort of prayer or incantation, affirmations, that could be considered witchcraft. If you're using crystals for healing, I love my crystals. So I've got my crystal ball. It's a piece of obsidian. I love my crystals. There's quite a few on my shelf you probably can't see. I love my crystals. I love obsidian because it's a truth seeker. So if I want to know the truth on any issue, obsidian really helps me to get to the truth and heart of the issue. So that's why I love the energy of obsidian. Yeah, but I've got loads of beautiful crystals. What else have I got? A piece of citrine. So if you're wanting to make more money, this is a piece of citrine. So I've got a really big one in my garden. I've got that at wholesale. So if you're a therapist or practitioner, you can go, is that pretty? So sparkly. So this helps with abundance. So what you can do is you can put this in, like if you're into Feng Shui, you can put this into your prosperity abundance corner of your home. When I had my card machine in my office, I'll put my card machine next to my citrine, and I would always get money and opportunities coming to my card machine. You can maybe put your purse or wallet next to citrine, and basically it invokes the energy of attracting wealth. Yeah. So yeah, this is where using crystals for healing to support your work. Now this beauty, now she's come all the way from America. She's come from Vine Stible's shop. This is a piece of fluorite. I love fluorite. It's really great for cleansing the blood. It's been carved in the shape of a Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is my favorite ascended master. I work with Kuan Yin a lot. She's fantastic for working with women with abuse issues, physical, emotional, and sexual. She brings compassion and forgiveness, and that's one of the big healings that women are learning through abuse is forgiveness. It's not obviously always easy. So I really use the energy of Kuan Yin to support me in my healings with my clients. But fluorite is a lovely crystal. It's very good for cleansing and purifying, particularly the blood, but it's got lots and lots of other properties. So as you can see, yes, I'm a witch. So now let's be serious. So with with the burning of the witches, this may be sitting inside your DNA as a trauma, okay? So it may have happened in your ancestral line where maybe one of your ancestors was using herbs for healing. Maybe they were doing some sort of rituals with maybe salt, in circles and things like that, or making prayers to various gods and goddesses. Okay, maybe you've had some past lives worshipping other gods and goddesses and involved in in other practices which were obviously are now considered or were considered witchcraft. So all of this bundle of energy needs to be released. Okay, it's much more than I can do in tonight's Facebook Live. We cover this particular topic during a class called World Relations. We've just finished teaching that about a month ago. It's one of our advanced classes, but basically clears prejudice against various cultures, religions, and we actually spend a whole afternoon on this whole topic of the burning of the witches, because we attract healers, therapists and coaches, and so they carry this energy and they're terrified, and they attract people that label them as such or misunderstand or misinterpret. Okay, so what do people say when you're a psychic? When you tell them you're a psychic, how do they respond? Okay, so I'm careful who I say this to. Sometimes I'll just throw it out there to see what happens, and sometimes I see the person kind of move away and their face changes, and I think they're terrified that I'm a mind reader. Now, I'm a psychic, but I'm not a mind reader. There's a difference, right? So some people get a bit nervous and a bit frightened, and what that is they're not saying, oh, I don't like you, or evil or bad. What they're saying is, I remember the burning of the witches. I'm being triggered by this, and whatever this is, it's not safe for me to be next to you, because if I'm associated with you, they'll kill me too. Basically, this is what's happening. So they're not saying, oh, you're weird, you're bad. It's just they're being triggered by their genetic beliefs that are sitting in their DNA. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. Now, sometimes people go, if you tell them you're a psychic, go, oh, can you tell me my future? Can you tell me my future? So I've done future readings in all sorts of places. So I'm kind of careful where I say this, because I'll end up, people wanting free readings, right? So it's like, you can book an appointment with my, with Sabrina at the office, and we can do you a reading. Yeah. They need to realize that, you're not sitting, in your living room or in a caravan with your crystal ball, right? That's not the way we work. You have to book an appointment, you prepay in advance, and it could be a 30-minute appointment and so forth. It's a professional service, so treat it as such. So it's about clarifying with the clients the way you work, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start to clear some of this collective consciousness energy. So close your eyes for me. Okay, so I'm going to ask the creator just to release all the shock and trauma that you're carrying in your DNA and at all levels. Okay, this could be past lives, where if anywhere you were, killed or tortured as a result of being called a witch, whether you're male or female. I'm going to ask the creators to release that from you now, showing you that it's over and that you are safe, showing you the difference between then and now. Because if you are incarnated at this time on this planet, you've come back to finish the work you started. Okay, this is the best time. This is the best time. No one's going to burn you at the stake in 2018. I guarantee you. At least not in England or in the Western world. Okay. Okay, so we're going to I'm going to ask the creator just to release any hurt or rejection that you feel as a result of people labeling you as a witch or labeling you as evil. Okay, let's release the belief that energy work or healing or therapy is witchcraft, or it's evil or black magic. Let's release that. Okay, let's release the belief that healing is devil's work. I know it sounds heavy, but some of you are running that program. Okay, as I tune into everyone on the live, and also the people that will listen to this recording, I'm getting a conflict between am I connecting to God or am I connecting to something else? So some of you are doubting your connection to the divine, and you're wondering, are you working from the highest energy? So can the creator of all that is teach you and show you how to recognize when you're working with the energy of God, universal intelligence, the creator of all that is, the divine energy? So it looks like and feels like to recognize and to know on every level of your being when you're working from the highest frequency, the highest vibration. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Right, so some of you got some stuff to do with Atlantis. You're blaming yourself for Atlantis. Okay, again, some of you weren't even there, but you're still blaming yourself for it. It's linked to the collective consciousness of I'll destroy the world and a fear of losing your power. So I'm just going to ask the creator to give you a clearer definition of what true power means, okay? So there's like Hitler power and Gandhi power, okay? Hitler power is not real power, that's just control, okay? What I mean by Gandhi power is that you inspire people and they want to follow. That's true power. Whereas Hitler was using fear to control people. That's not power. So the creator of all that is teach you and show you the highest definition, understanding, perspective of what real power is. And that it's safe for you to be in your power. And it's safe to use your gifts to help yourself and help others. Thank you. Breathe, let that come in. Okay, good, good. Thank you. Release the fear of hurting others with your power and to show you that you can use your power wisely. You can release the belief that it's wrong to use your healing gifts to help yourself. Okay, some of you are using your own energy to heal other people. It's like a shamanic energy. So anywhere that you're a shaman in any past life, or you carry shamanic energy from your ancestors, but we're just going to allow the creator to show you another way. So you can use the energy of the creator to facilitate the healings rather than using your own energy, which will drain you and make you sick. So let's free you from that now. So this is like a little recalibration of your auric field and your nervous system in the way that you work. Okay, it may feel a bit different. Just trust the creator will facilitate this in the highest and best way for you. And what this will actually do, it will strengthen your healing ability because you're not going to be using your energy, you're going to be using the energy of the divine. Okay, you won't get tired and the healings will be faster and easier. So would you like your healings and therapies and treatments to be faster and easier? Okay, I'm hearing yes, please. Okay, let's bring it on. Good, well done. Well done. Okay, so I'm going to do a bit of cord cutting as well. So some of you have got cords, like they're like energetic cords or hooks to your clients who are draining you. They're like energetic vampires, and you guys know who these people are. You feel tired and exhausted after an appointment with them. They could be breaking boundaries by texting you outside of hours or constant emails that are not part of the contract, right? So people are laughing at this one, right? Yeah, you know who these people are. So we're going to just assert your boundaries. I'm going to cut the cords to these people who you are allowing. You are allowing this. So it doesn't mean you're going to fire them as clients. It's just going to have healthier boundaries with these clients. They don't drain you. So I'm going to ask Archangel Michael to use his sword of light to cut through all these cords, these negative cords where you are being drained by your clients, where you are using your life force energy to heal them or support them. And a lot of this is through pity. Some of you feel pity for your clients. They don't need your pity. They need you to teach them how to help themselves. Okay, good. Okay. Okay. So allowing the creator to teach you and ensure that it's now safe for you to be visible without the fear of being attacked, prosecuted, killed, punished. Okay, can we teach you Creator's highest truth that your definition is more important, your opinion is more important than the opinion of others? Thank you. Okay. Okay. Okay, I have to share a story. So open your eyes. This story you'll remember. This is why I'm telling you the story. It's so that you can understand a certain lesson. So I was running sort of regular meditation evenings, and we would have like 170, 200, 350 people come to these events. So they were huge. And yeah, I don't recommend them monthly. It was just way too much work. But I was trying to build a community. And so when you have a big event, you have to hire a venue, speakers, team to run it. And in London, venue hire is quite expensive. So, you know, the speakers, the person that's going to run the speakers, people do the check-ins. And so I charged a normal fee. I think it was, yeah, £12 or something per ticket. And if you bought 2 tickets, it's even cheaper. And so they really grew in popularity. People were coming. Some people would even fly in just for this 2-hour event for my meditation evenings that I would facilitate, or one of my instructors would. And so I'll be putting posts on Facebook, inviting people to come to the meditation evening and saying, look, you know, if you enjoy the last one, you know, share the event with your friends. And so there would be these, in my Facebook post, there would be people saying, yeah, awesome, I'm coming. So-and-so shared it with so-and-so. Anna's amazing. Love Anna. You know, lovely comments all the way down. And coming down, like comment number 30, okay, there was this man, Muhammad, I can't remember the last name, Muhammad. He said, you're a sex slave, you're a money slave, blah, 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 blah. He basically had a puke on my Facebook post. And when I saw it, I was like, I was horrified. I was like, shit, who's seen this? Quickly, ban, delete. Right. And so once I composed myself, which was about a couple of minutes later, I literally burst out laughing. I burst out laughing because I realized something. So he said, Anna, you're a sex slave. Okay. So I'm really embarrassed to say, but this was this was about like a year or two ago. We'd gotten a dog, a puppy, and since we got the puppy, it was like the new baby. So my husband and I weren't having sex for a while. It was about 7 months, right? Very embarrassing. Okay, everybody knows, and I wasn't having sex. And so I'm like, how can I be a sex slave? I'm not even having sex, right? And he goes, you're a money slave. I'm thinking, well, actually, for the first 7 years of theta healing, I wasn't making any money. I was reinvesting it back into the business. So, because it was funded by my other part-time job. So money slave, no. And so you made a few other comments, and I just burst out laughing. I realized, Anna, this comment wasn't about you. It was everything to do with him. He saw a beautiful, successful woman teaching spirituality and making money. It triggered all his crap. So when he posted that stuff and he said, you're a money slave, you're a sex slave, blah, 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 this regurgitation. So when people do this to you, you're a witch, you're evil, you know, you're doing voodoo hoodoo, you're stealing people's money, you're taking advantage of the sick, blah, blah, blah. Where are the 3 fingers pointing? At themselves. So this may have been your parents that say, you're lazy, you're stupid. Maybe it's one of your, you know, your ex-partners, ex-boyfriends. You're not good enough, you're not sexy enough, you're stupid. They're talking about themselves. Okay, so this is a really important lesson. So when I'll burst out laughing, it's like, oh, Anna, get over yourself, okay? No one cares about you that much, okay? It's not about you. It was all about him. All about him, right? So next time you see someone, they call it trolling, yeah? Next time somebody sends you horrible things on Facebook, just delete, because it's got nothing to do with you. Don't respond, don't justify, don't explain yourself. Say, you know what? Forgive and delete. Forgive and delete. Forgiveness is your greatest protection, because you know what? Their comment is nothing to do about you. It's all to do with them. And you just triggered their stuff. That's all it is. And that's what's going to happen. So as I've become more and more well-known internationally, for the most part, people do like me. But, you know, there are people on this planet that do hate Anna Kidney. It's just true. Some people do not like me at all. And that's fine. I'm cool with it. But back in the day, because I'm quite sensitive, I'm quite empathic, it used to really hurt my feelings. I'll be thrown for the whole day. You know, I would like rearrange clients because I wasn't in my healing zone. It really, really upset me. And people say the most horrible things online they would never say to your face, right? It was so upsetting. And I had to do work on myself to recognize that, okay, yes, I can have a thick skin, but the truth of the matter is it's got nothing to do with you. So what I'm asking you is, do not be afraid to stand up, shine, and speak your truth. Do not be afraid to say, hey, I'm the healer, I'm the therapist, I'm the coach, and this is what I do. This is how I can help people. Do not be afraid, because your promised people, okay, the people that you're here to serve, they can't find you unless you speak up and make yourself visible. This is about, you know, really asserting yourself and speaking your truth with love and conviction. Your intention is not to take advantage of people, you know, manipulate people, okay? Because you won't last very long in business. Simple as that. You know, if you're cheating people, you'll be out of business in a second. Okay. The reason why I've succeeded in my business for the last 10 years with my growing team is because we have the highest integrity. We take care of our students and our clients. That's why we have the highest integrity. We have lots of testimonials on YouTube. I get emails. So I've got the testimonials. So if I'm having a bad day, I just look through my testimonials and like the ego gets patted. Oh, I'm so good. I'm so good. I'm so good. Right? So start gathering testimonials, because what happens is you forget the great things you've done. You forget the amazing healings you've done, whether they're paid or not. It's irrelevant. If you've done a great healing for somebody, collect a testimonial. So when you look back over the months and years, you can see the journey and how many people you've helped and how you've helped someone. Because with a 1-hour appointment, you can transform someone's life. Okay? And that's why we do what we do. Okay? Right. So finally, I'm going to work on your money beliefs. Okay, so some of you spiritual people poo-poo money. It's like, oh, I'm too high and mighty. Money's evil, money's bad. Okay, so if you make money evil and bad, the moment you get paid, you'll get rid of it, or you won't receive money for healings. Okay, you'll track those freebies. So you need to have a better relationship with money. So it's all about your mindset. So we can explore this particular topic on the basic course in Theta Healing, where we start to teach you how to change your beliefs. And money is a huge, huge topic. So I'm going to start to dive in to the energy that's in this call this evening, and on the replay about your money beliefs. So can I start with Creator's highest definition, understanding perspective of what money is, and that your truth is the same as the Creator's. So this is not the Western world's version of what money is, okay, because it's very distorted. We're going to show you the highest truth from the Creator. Okay, so can we teach you that you deserve to be rich and abundant? Because the Creator is not poor. God's not poor, so why should you be? That you know how to receive and accept money for your healing, therapy, or coaching services. That you know what it feels like to be fairly paid for your services. Okay, let's release the belief that money is the root of all evil, because that's a misquote from the Bible. It's actually the love of money is the root of all evil. So let's release that money is the root of all evil. And everywhere that you're making money evil, let's release that on all levels. Can we release the belief that wanting more money or increasing your rate is being greedy? Can we release that? Because as you increase your skill set, as you do more courses, you increase your qualifications, you do more, you have more appointments, your skill set improves. So you're much better, year 2, year 3 of your practice than you were in year 1. So therefore you should increase your rate, because you're much more proficient, much better healer or therapist. So you deserve to get a pay rise. Okay. Okay, so can we release the belief that money will corrupt you? Can we release the belief that people who are rich are greedy or corrupt? Can we release the belief that if you accept money for healings, you will lose your gifts, talents, and abilities? Okay. Okay, so this will kind of be the last story of the evening. So in the collective consciousness above the planet, there's this kind of lie that says, well, Jesus didn't charge money for healing, so it's wrong for you to charge. Yeah. Buddha, gave up all his possessions. He was a prince, gave up all his possessions, starved himself under a tree, reached enlightenment, so you should be poor as well. That's not necessarily an accurate view of the story. So the story of Jesus in the Bible is not his entire life. Okay, so he was born from about 1 to 5. It is covered in the Bible, and then next you hear he's like 37. He's been killed on the cross. So what happened to all that time in between? Okay, he just didn't hang out and cut wood with his dad. Okay, he actually traveled to the Far East. Okay, where he learned about Eastern philosophy. So when Jesus came back and he said, "I am the Son of God," he didn't say, "I am the only Son of God," because we are all children of God. Okay, it was a misquote of the Bible. Now, some of you may disagree with that. That's absolutely fine. At this point, you can leave the Facebook Live. I completely accept that. I'm not offended. But we are all children of the Creator. We're all born equal, okay? We are all important to the divine energy. The divine energy, God, lives within all of us and in everything around you, okay? So when they talk about, God being, Jesus being the gatekeeper to heaven, it's not like Jesus is the bouncer to heaven. Seriously, right? Okay, every person has the ability to connect and speak with the divine energy. We all have this gift. Now, this is something we teach in the basic course, how to silence the monkey mind, go into this meditation so you can hear the voice of the creator, to receive messages, to receive healing. This is what we teach on day one of the basic class. Okay, it's incredibly profound. But most of the time, our monkey mind is going so fast, we can't hear. We can't hear the divine speaking. So this meditation allows you to go into stillness to begin to hear this infinite wisdom and guidance that we all have access to. So Jesus was married, he had children, and back in the day, there wasn't necessarily money or currency. It was done through bartering. Okay, so they didn't have physical coins, they had bartering. And so there would be exchange, like, I'll give you a sack of rice for a goat. Okay, so there was money, but it was in the form of bartering. So Jesus did receive payments, yeah? And back in those days, healers were very revered. Like now, the healers are sort of seen as like not a real job. Back in the day, they were very revered. Like it was the tribal elder, the wise woman, the medicine man or medicine woman, and they were revered. And so what would happen is the village would have this healer elder in their village, and they would build this elder a home, okay, from mud and straw. They would leave offerings at the door, and that would be payment for the village elder to keep the tribe or community healthy. So if a baby was being born at 2 a.m. in the morning, he got his ass out of bed to help deliver the baby. If there was a sickness going through the village, he would go through the forest or to the field, gather the herbs, make the mixtures, and medicate everybody with the herbs so that everybody would recover from the sickness and illness. That's the way it was done in olden days, okay? And so then there would be an apprentice that would be in training, so then when the elder died, the new person would step in. The healer was revered, they were respected, there's someone they went to advice for. So, when women stop menstruating and they go into menopause, when they're no longer losing blood and the iron, not only does a physical shift happen, but also an emotional and spiritual one. It's like a form of initiation, and her intuition and her awareness increases. And so the women who were elders were the women you came to for advice and guidance, because they were old, they've lived the life, they've heard the stories, and they could give good advice on children, marriage, work, ethics, morals. They had these life experiences. So between then and now, I don't know what the hell has happened, because on the scale of where, doctors, nurses, surgeons, brain surgeons are versus healers, where we're kind of seen at the bottom, okay, something's happened in the collective consciousness where we've fallen down the ranks. Okay, so part of my purpose is to make this work credible, mainstream, and acceptable by mass society. So it's already starting to happen with Reiki. Reiki's been accepted in hospitals as a form of complementary medicine to help people during chemotherapy. Okay, there's a Theta Healing Medical Association in Japan where they're using Theta healing in hospitals. So they're not even, operating, administering drugs. They're doing theta healing on patients. I mean, how awesome is that? So I believe in my lifetime, we're going to see where energy healing becomes more of a mainstream complementary therapy to help with many different ailments and conditions. Complementary. So what we do as energy healers is we tap in the body's own ability to heal itself. This is what we do. We switch on DNA. We switch things around. We help identify what is the underlying cause of a disease and illness. Is it environmental? Have they got toxins in their body? Heavy metals, the additives in food, pesticides, hormones, crap, all that. Is it environmental? Okay, is it emotional? Is it emotional trauma that caused the disease? Or is it genetic? Okay, we can help with all of those three. Okay, if someone's got an environmental issue, they need to do a detox, right? So this is where I would refer to a naturopath who can help them detox, get the heavy metals out of their system. Okay, help them, nutritionists that can help change their diet so they're no longer eating processed microwave foods. Yeah, I got rid of my microwave like 25 years ago, right? Best thing I ever did. Food tastes so much better when it's not being microwaved, right? So can the Credible Layers teach you and show you the value of you as the healer and the therapist and the coach? That you can join the ranks of the wise ones, the advisors, the counselors, so you can see yourself as an equal to doctors, surgeons. Now, I know some of you are getting triggered by that, but just allow that to come in and see what happens. Okay. Breathe. Okay, so we work with doctors, with nurses, we work with medicine. We can help clients avoid disease in the first place. And we can support them in their recovery. So I really want you to feel and honor and respect the vocation of the healer, the therapist, the coach, the counselor. Really feel that. Breathe, breathe. Let that in. Okay, it's a profession. It's a vocation. It's a life purpose. And for many of you, it's a soul's purpose as well. You've come back so many times, reincarnated over and over again to finish the work you started. It's time for you to stop messing around, stop making excuses, step up and really accept this mission that you chose for yourself. And embrace it. Embrace it. Let it become this facet of you. And embrace it as your identity. You don't need to hide it. You don't need to be ashamed of it. In fact, you need to be proud. Because as you develop, as you grow and you develop mastery, you'll become one of the wise elders. You'll grow into that. But there's work to be done before you. And that happens one client after another client after another client. Each client is an opportunity for you to learn and master your craft. Each client is an opportunity for you to heal, to grow and evolve. Just be really grateful for that blessing, that gift that you have. Oh, that feels good. Well done. Well done. Whew. Oh, wow, that was cool. That was cool. Okay. That was intense, guys. Okay. Susanna's saying I've got goose pimples. Goose pimples. Yeah, goose pimples. Obviously, it's obviously related to skin. Skin's to do with boundaries, but basically, it's like you're remembering. You're remembering. Yep, I was doing this work before. I'm remembering it again. I remember I was powerful. Because some of you like lived to a long age. You were doing a lot of clients, and you just forgot who you were. You just forgot. So it's like you're reawakening this ancient knowledge. So amazing, amazing. Okay, best place to get crystals. So I get my crystals from wholesalers. So if you're a therapist, you can get your crystals wholesale. On my website, I have a useful links. So check out useful links on my website in the menu, and that will give you a couple of wholesalers that you can go to. Otherwise, you can phone around. You can phone around. The wholesalers I've got, they're actually just outside London. So you can either obviously drive up, or you can get them to send you photos and get them to ship it to you. And there's no minimum spend. Okay. Polly's saying, yeah, world relations was so powerful. Yeah, Polly's done world relations twice. And each time she does it, she gets another client from another country. She's just going global, more and more global. Okay. Yeah, Martina's saying, me too, Polly, really transformation, clearing lots of generations and ancestors. Okay. Oh, Brittany! Hello, my lovely. You were here yesterday. So Brittany's saying, after your live stream yesterday, I attracted 2 new clients, and I literally had this feeling of like, why would they choose me? They must have booked accidentally. She's got the laughing emojicons. On a conscious level, I honor and trust myself, but these subconscious thoughts are resurfacing. And since you gave me profound insight on your live stream yesterday. Okay, so clients have come, you're getting triggered, they've chosen you. So just trust that when clients come to you, they will only come to you if you know how to serve them. Clients wouldn't be attracted if you didn't know how to serve them. On a soul level, what happens is we make contracts with people saying, we'll incarnate, I'll be your healer, and the client says, I'll be your teacher. So clients come to you on a human level, they pay you to heal them, and you as the healer are learning from that client. So this is the energetic arrangement that we have. So clients will come with various experiences for this exchange of energy. Essentially, you're getting paid to learn. So just trust that every client comes to you, you are ready for. So you don't have to turn away clients. You are ready for these, okay? So just accept, receive, feel the gratitude, and trust, and allow, okay? Good, but congratulations. Well done. You're in the zone, Brittany. You're in the zone. Well done. Well done. Okay. Pfizer's saying, oh my God, I love you. Well, I love you too. I love you too. Thank you for joining me on this call. I'm getting lots of I love yous. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, this is a good one. Natalia's saying, once I told a colleague that I had done some downloads on my flyers, and he said I should manipulate people like that. Okay. Right. So why would a blessing over your flyer be manipulation? Okay. Why would that be manipulation? So everything is infused with energy. So when I cook my soup or the pasta, I'm infusing love into that food because I'm cooking food for my family. So I'm infusing love. Okay. If instead of just throwing a pizza in the oven mindlessly, okay, if I'm cooking food, I'm chopping the garlic, I'm putting in the parsley, I'm stirring the vegetables, I'm literally infusing it with love for my family. I love my children enough to cook them a meal. That's what I'm infusing. Whether you do it through theta healing or just the intention, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So when you're giving downloads to flyers, the download would be that the right people are attracted to my flyer, that people who need this service are drawn to me. Okay, that's the download. So when you're using the energy of the creator, you could never use the energy of love to manipulate a person. It's just not possible. Okay, like you can't use the energy of the creator to curse someone, right? It's just not possible. You can't use the energy of love to manipulate. They're like polar opposites. Okay, so whatever downloads you gave your flyers, when your friend said it's manipulation, that's probably her issue. It's probably her issue feeling, oh, that you're doing something witchy by doing like curses over your flyers. That's her perspective of what you've just done. But what you've simply done is you've done this blessing over your flyers so that they reach the right people, that you attract amazing, wonderful clients who are grateful for your service. Okay, so it's a very different energy. So Natalia, it's her energy, not yours. Okay, we're not casting curses over flyers. It's like that's a whole nother category. Okay, we can release curses though. We can do those. Yeah, that's like a 1 minute job. No drama. No drama. Okay. Okay, so Osami is saying, I can feel on par with these people and have doctors and nurses in my family. Absolutely. I have doctors and nurses as students in my classes. What a privilege and honor to teach these people who are open-minded, who see that there are different ways to heal and all forms of medicine work. Energy medicine, allopathic medicine, there's all methods that can work together. Okay, so we're not, like I said, we're not anti-doctor. We work with doctors and surgeons. Doctors saved my father's life. He had a heart attack. He had a quadruple heart bypass. It saved his life. Energy work got him out of hospital within a week. The doctors were like amazed, like, what did you do? So Mum and I were in the hospital doing healings on him, and we're doing a combination of Reiki and Theta healing. I remember having my hands over my father's body, and the nurse were like literally like stepped away further and further. She was a bit freaked out by what we were doing. Like I didn't care, and I swear to God, like the Reiki was so strong. It was like really intense, and I was getting like visions of like because they took arteries, so veins from his leg and hooked up into his heart. The veins are like, where are we? What are we doing here? So I had to give the arteries the download that you're now part of the heart and this is your new job. And they went, okay. And then it started to work correctly. So that's the kind of cool stuff we do in energy work, right? This is why he got out of hospital in a week, but doctors saved his life. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, I look forward to working with you too, Brittany. Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. So either obviously, book an appointment, like a session, or come to one of my classes. But it sounds like you're doing great. So keep going, saying thank you for my clients. Universe, bring me more. I'm ready. So receive, receive, receive. Yeah, be of service. Okay. Okay, so thank you. Agnes has given you guys the link for the useful links for the crystals. So she's put that in the post, in the thread. Okay, right. So before we finish up, future readings. So I'm not going to teach you how to do a future reading in this live Facebook Live, but I'm going to tell you how I use future readings in my business. So I use future readings for forecasting. So there's a technique I teach, and I teach it on the basic class, which is called a future reading. It's part of the Feeling Basic course, and so it's a powerful tool to look into the future. Now, the future is not set in stone. It changes with the decisions we make. So you never need to be afraid to look in the future. So I will look a year ahead in the future, 2 years ahead in the future. So I'm looking to see where my business is going or where my life is going based on the decisions I'm making now. So if I look into the future and I say, okay, I look into 6 months' time, 12 months' time, okay, and I see, okay, I'm really feeling overworked, I'm feeling exhausted, I've packed my calendar in, I can see, okay, what decision do I need to make today that's going to change my future so that I can feel like I'm feeling more relaxed, more rested, and not overworked. So I may choose to reduce the number of classes I teach or the number of sessions, or I may just take more holidays. I can make that decision today. So then I say to myself, okay, well, if I book maybe an extra holiday in next year, and maybe if I take out maybe five classes out of the curriculum, what's that going to look like? So then I say, Greta, show me the alternative. So now instantly I'm shown an alternative future, and I'm seeing, oh, actually it's working much better. I've actually made more money because I'm less stressed. So I have more students in those classes. I'm not having to keep marketing more and more classes. It's feeling much more expansive. I'm spending more time with my kids, and I got the extra holiday, and I'm going to Japan. Awesome, awesome. I'm so excited, so excited. Yeah, I can see the cherry blossoms. It's April, May, something like that. Looks good. I'm excited. So can you see how fun this is, right? So you never need to be afraid of a future reading. So just because somebody tells you something bad is going to happen, you still have the free will to change it. So this is where you can use steady healing in a very powerful way to future pace your business and really create a strategy that's going to get the outcome you want. So one of the cool things I do is called quantum jumping. So I take it to the next level. And this is something I teach in my advanced classes. Simply because you need to have enough beliefs clear to be able to do quantum jumping. But essentially you're jumping into another dimension, stay with me, another dimension, and looking at alternate reality and saying, okay, creator, you know, if for me, I want to be this, I want to be, say, an international speaker, best-selling author, fantastic mother, connect to a future version that's achieved all of that and show me. And so that I connect to that future version in another dimension that's already achieved, and I speak to Anna in that dimension. I say, Anna, what decisions and choices did you make? What beliefs do you have that allow this? And I literally bring those healings from that future self in another dimension to today. I love this technique. I love it. Now, some of you are like trying to grasp that whole concept. It's probably blowing your mind. But it's so doable. It's so doable. It's so awesome. So awesome that literally you can get information from your future self and bring it back to you today for advice, so that you can make much better decisions today to get the future that you want to create. Okay. So as I said, the future is not set in stone. It changes the decisions you make. So what decision are you going to make today? What is your big takeaway from today? Obviously, I've been doing Facebook Lives back to back. I start teaching my class tomorrow. Basic starts tomorrow in London. Okay, this is the beginning of a transformation for a lot of people, the beginning of an awakening, the beginning to see the world through different eyes. So what decision are you going to make today? What action will you take in your business, in your life, in your practice? Are you going to look to improve your skill set through mastery, through constant development? Okay, so this could be getting a coach or a mentor. It could be further study to develop your skill set to become a better therapist, healer, or coach. Okay, this may mean doing like coaching or healing swaps on a regular basis, not making excuses of, I don't have the time. I heard that one today. I don't have the time. It's bullshit, guys. You make time for what's important. Okay, so what I want to ask you before we finish is, how badly is your mission to you? How badly do you want to be of service to shine your light to the world? Okay, what is your big why? Why are you doing this? You know, I can see all your posts, you're trying really hard, but then there's all these other, I guess, objections or excuses and reasons for why not. I want you to connect with your big why. Are you doing this for your children? Are you doing this for your legacy, that you leave the world in a better place than when you arrived? Are you doing it so that you can feel useful and needed? Do you feel this calling and this pull that you must be of service? Yeah. What is your why? Why are you doing this? I want you to connect with that and allow that to be your fuel so that you'll no longer make excuses. Because if your why is big enough, the excuses won't matter. You will do whatever it takes, obviously ethically, honorably, honestly, yeah, you'll do whatever it takes to make it happen, to make your business a success, to shine your light to the world, to be of greater service. So what are you waiting for? So thank you so much, guys. We have done like a marathon Facebook Live. I've like overloaded you. There's obviously much more that I can obviously offer you. I hope to see some of you in my basic class tomorrow, okay, in London. So you can register for the class. There's still places. We still have a few places on that class. So the link is in the post. If you're already a healing practitioner, then I encourage you to book the Game of Life class, the Game of Life. I've just uploaded a new video which actually explains what that class is about. It's a perfect one for clearing your beliefs to do with business and money and shifting you from the passenger seat to the driver's seat of your life and your business. I love this class. It's one of the funnest classes. So I really invite you to join me on this powerful transformational journey to create a life that you'll love. Thank you so much and good night.